in ages.
Are we live? Are we live? Yeah,
Whirring.
Circle of Death.
Whirring.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Monday. Welcome to Donna and Cheryl TV. Don't adjust your set. I have got a sore eye. It's not your vision going blurry or anything like that. But yes, welcome. Happy Monday. Monday the 7th of September. Keeping it real.
Kids.
Keeping it
Oh,
real.
the kids go.
Keeping it real.
Oh, you
Christ,
can't see me nail
3 times.
varnish. It's a darker one this week.
I've got Cajun shrimp. Cheryl's got a darker one.
I've got
Keeping it real.
kaki or something like that.
Hello, Lindsay in the house. It's good to see you. We've got a really important topic to talk to you about today. But before we do that, I'm just going to have a bit chat to my soul sister because we haven't actually spoken all weekend, have we? Like, obviously, we messaged 50 million times, but we haven't actually spoken, I don't think, since Friday, which is unusual for us. So, did you have a good weekend?
I did. Alcohol-free. My first alcohol-free weekend for a long while. It's going to happen the whole of September. And Graham, my husband, because we've just been for walks, we've been along to the new stack that they've just built at Sunderland twice. But he's like, oh, it's great, this, isn't it? Like, not drinking. I'm not sure I could manage it next week. I was like, I'm doing it for the next 2 weekends as well till we're going on our holidays. Like, oh, I think that'll be a bit difficult. So he's really over the moon with himself that he's managed one weekend.
I went to the stack. Like, so sometimes people can do alcohol free if they're not going anywhere where the alcohol resides. But the fact that he's went to the stack and stuff, which is new, and he's been really about it opening with a come to Sunderland and stuff, hasn't he? So the fact that he went there, well done,
good. We watched the band, had some food. He had a Coke. I had 2 tonic waters. I said to him, see, we can still come out and socialise. You don't have to be drinking. He said, well, it is a bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Said it is a bit different, but it was good. How about you?
No, the same. So we, well, no, it wasn't alcohol free, but like I took Caleb yesterday. What did we do on Saturday? God, Cheryl, like I can't even remember. Can you remember what I did on Saturday? This is a long one.
Oh, no, it was Friday.
No, I went and got my nails, the pedi and everything on Friday with Hannah, which was lovely. Like we love our girl chats. It's not the same with masks on, but we made the most of it. I'm trying to think what I did on Saturday. This is really long. I can't even remember.
Oh, I can't remember. Oh, football. It was Caleb's first football match.
Oh, yes, it was Caleb's first football match. Hey, Lenny. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Yvette. Yes, it was Caleb's first football match. So we did that. And then I came back and I think I just had a bit of a lazy afternoon because I know England were playing at 5. So I watched a chick flick, which was lush. I vegged out in the den while they watched football and I watched a chick flick. I did some studying and then I watched a chick flick and then we just had a nice night. And then yesterday I took Caleb up to the Botanist in Newcastle and he's not been there before because we had this little thing. I don't know if you have this where you always have like one particular place that you go to when you go out for dinner. And Caleb's favourite's always been Byron Burger. But the whole thing's gone into administration, which I think is such a shame because we loved it there and they always used to really look after him. So anyway, we booked. I said, oh, I'll take you somewhere different. So, and because you have to book everywhere now, I didn't know what it would be like on a Sunday. So we went to the Botanist in Newcastle. Have you guys been, have they got botanists around where you are? Like, I love it. I just love it in there. And the one in Newcastle, the building's really beautiful. I posted it on stories if anybody wants to have a look because it's got like a big glass atrium. It's got like all twinkly lights all the way up to the roof and this big false tree thing all the way up the middle of the bar, right up into the atrium. So Caleb just loved it. And they were really amazing with them. I wasn't sure what they'd be like with kids, but were really good. There was a live singer on playing his guitar behind her and he sang some really good songs. So I was like dancing along, as Caleb says. I think he was mortified, but he's getting to that age now where he's mortified. He's 7. Don't care. And yeah, had lovely food, but stayed alcohol free in there because I don't like to drink. I'm one of those people like I'll just not have a glass if I'm driving, especially if Caleb's in the car. So I stayed sober while I was in there. Like, I thought it was the right thing to do. But I did find it really weird because that's what I would call like a drinking bar. Do you know what I mean? Like we go in there and have nice cocktails and stuff. If I go to Newcastle with my dad, I take him there. And I was sitting thinking, what is weird? And it's because I'm a bar girl. So Cheryl and I love to sit physically at the bar and watch the world go by with our cocktails. And we always have a crack on the way. I think it's because I used to be to the bar because I used to work in bars. And that was weird, just seeing all the perspex around and no bar stools and only table service. Sorry, got foggy throat today. So that was really strange. But yeah, I don't know. It was nice being in there, but it just felt like a very different.
It was different.
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay's just saying she embarrasses her 7-year-old. Well, actually, like you can. There was loads of kids in the stack as well. like families and stuff going there, like and having food because there was a band on, which was nice. But honestly, going right off topic, but I'll never forget the time I took Holly to Mexico. Can you remember?
Yes, I can remember.
And I
it was yesterday. Like,
how old was she? God,
she was a
8,
bit older
9 or something.
Yeah.
But literally, I never ever drank in front of Holly when she was little, because I never used to drink in the house when I lived on my own ever. And whenever I had a drink, it was always when I was out with my friends, so she never saw us drink. And I took her to this holiday in Mexico, and I met these people at the bar, and I was drinking lots of tequila shots. And it was one of them big complexes, and she was in the cinema room, and I just like kept around and, you know, waving at her with our friends, and then had all these shots, and then realised there was a nightclub in the complex. And was like, oh, come on, let's go to the nightclub. So we got to this nightclub. There was no one in apart from just the teenage kids sitting around the sofas while I go on the dance floor. And just Holly was like, Mum, no.
I love it. Like, girl, like, I just have to see Cheryl on the dance floor. Like, if there's a pool in the vicinity, she's going to be on it. Like, she's like literally like J-Lo in Hustler. Like, she's
just a slightly fatter version.
It's like a cross between J-Lo, Beyonce, and like...
But a fatter version.
And then you were just like on it. So I mean, imagine
she was just like, Mom, no, I'm really embarrassed. So I was just like that. I did listen to her. I was like, okay, so we didn't go back to the nightclub.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love that. Well, when we came out of the Botanist, we could hear this band, and I had a band on in Newcastle, like right next to when you come out, like where Grey's Monument is. And it was like Brazilian street music.
Oh, fab.
So there was this woman, this beautiful black woman, I thought she was with them, but she wasn't. She was just walking past and stopped, and I went, and Kim and Kayla both went, Auntie Cheryl will be up there as well. But she was fantastic, just busting out. She was just like dancing a lot, you know, just doing all her moves. I was like, good on you, girl. I mean, I could not dance to that because you can't really, you're more moved. It's
you've got to jiggle your
But
bits.
I loved it. I just wanted to stand and watch them. Like, it was just so much fun. Kayla was like, right, come on.
We're done.
I was going to join in.
Oh my God.
I can't lie, it might have happened. Even on mineral water, it might have happened because I get excited when I hear music.
Oh.
So, well,
anyway,
did you all have a lovely weekend? We would love to know. Share with us. And I loved Donna, who was one of our community, posted today in the Soul System, just saying like a little bit of an empty nest feeling this morning. You know, people going back to work and the schools going back, and we've had this enforced closeness for 6 months, and now all of a sudden it's like, like Cheryl and I, like we are always in the housework, and it is going to be weird. I'm feeling the same about when Caleb goes back to school. So I'd love to know if you're feeling that as well now, and if you are in the Soul System, join on Donna's thread and just talk about how you're feeling, because I think it's nice to know that you're not on your own as well.
Absolutely. It's unusual because obviously I'm in a different scenario. I'm in the house every day. Only today I've got 2 builders in the front bedroom making lots of noise, where normally I'm used to being silent. And when Graham got followed for those 10 weeks across the summer, I was like, you need to go back to work, mate.
Yeah.
I'm used to being in the house in silence.
Absolutely. I'm worried about how I'm going to feel when Caleb goes back, so I'm working on it. Yvette is saying, I embarrassed my poor 10-year-old nephew. Haven't seen him since before lockdown, and smothered him with auntie kisses. You guys were at the zoo, weren't you, on Saturday? Was it fun, Yvette? Yeah, you got to do the auntie. Caleb starts, he just like quietly just wipes all of mine off now, and I'm like, I'm going to give you more, right?
I haven't had any auntie kisses yet. I'm allowed hugs. I'm not allowed kisses yet.
Yeah, be soon. So the thing we did actually want to talk to you about today was we posted our weekly affirmation. So if you're not in our community, which I know some of you watching this might not be, if you're on within our we call our community, that's like if you're in our emails, if you're in the Soul System, every Sunday without fail we send out a weekly affirmation to really help you feel good and give you something to anchor to through the week. And this week the affirmation is, I'm going to read it out and make sure, I'm confident. No, is it? I'm confident and I know my worth. And that's because we're really working on helping you guys feel confident right now. And this, obviously, we are doing the Supercharge Yourself Confidence free live challenge. Starts next Monday. We are so excited. And that's because so many people, when they come and speak to us, women and men, there was a huge post on LinkedIn about it this morning, and in Deck we're talking about imposter syndrome on with Holly and Phil last week, around when you've got all these things that you want to do and you're just constantly feeling like you don't deserve it, like it's going to be taken away, like it's not meant for you, and you're blocking your success with all this negative thoughts and negative energy, feeling like you're just not worthy.
And it's interesting because when I talked about this a little bit on Friday with Joe, last week with Joe on Thursday, because when I was in corporate and I was less aware than I am now, before I studied NLP, I don't think I would describe myself as really having a confidence issue, really, would you? You knowing me, you wouldn't have ever described us as having a confidence issue, and it's not something that I would have described about myself.
No.
But what I did realize was that I didn't feel worthy. So, and when you don't feel worthy, you're constantly trying to prove yourself, which it comes across to other people. Because remember, people used to just go on about how competitive I was. And I was always competing, but actually I wasn't competing with them. I was competing with myself because I had this lack of worthiness with just this inner need to keep doing more. So it then probably came across not as a lack of confidence. I was talking about this with Joe, more of not overbearing, but like bullish,
bulldozing,
bulldozing, aggressive at times, rather than what you would see. You think somebody with a lack of confidence would be like meek or wouldn't speak up. I went the opposite way, defensive, because you're defending this outer shell, because inside, the inner confidence, the inner worth wasn't there, but I had this hard exterior, if you want to call it, which was masculine. Does that make sense?
It does. When I think of people who are bullies and things like that, God, I'm not saying that you weren't that, but you know, when I say bullies and hear these stories, and was bullied at some point, like it to me was very clear that there was a lack of self-esteem there. It was very clear. It's like this front, and I say the same about myself. Again, it manifests in a different way. In most of my life, people would, if you'd ask people to describe me, confident would have been one of the top 3 words.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I had more front than Blackpool. I posted about it last week. It was all a show. Yeah. That was how I masked it, because I didn't want you to know that I had no self-esteem, that I had no self-worth. I just made it so that you couldn't see it. And I think that's true of a lot of women.
And as Yvette's saying, which was true for me, Yvette, I didn't even know that I didn't feel worthy. So I would never have described myself as lacking confidence. Whenever I was in a room, if I thought, everyone felt unnervous speaking up, I would always be the one to speak and ask the questions. So it never came across in that kind of way. But I was the same as you. I didn't know that I didn't feel worthy or lacked inner confidence.
It's not what you would have used, is it? Like feeling unworthy. It's not. And I remember when you had that realization about it being about self-worth, it was really emotional for you, wasn't it? Like I remember the day it actually came out your mouth for the first time. For me, it was because I hadn't felt worthy, but I guess when I was younger, that sort of masked itself as just feeling insecure, feeling like I had to prove myself all the time, feeling like it might all be taken away from us, and that I couldn't ever take credit for the results. This is where the imposter syndrome obviously is very much linked to it. And then because then I got myself into really unhealthy relationships, and then you like bundle onto that the self of shame. Then you're proving to yourself that you're not worthy, and you're really in this downward spiral of just not ever feeling like you deserve. You don't feel good enough. You don't deserve to be happy, but it's not in your conscious mind. You're just constantly beating yourself up for being shit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't. I was just blissfully unaware.
It just came out of you in different ways, and you had this belief of, I just don't have those feelings. Like you just thought you were. Ali, hi Ali, it's lovely to have you here. The bullshit corporate politics really doesn't help these inner feelings yet. I don't think they help people be the best. And I've just put a post on LinkedIn today, Ali, which you'd love actually. It's a quote from Arianna Huffington, just all around how basically in corporates, we don't really take inner well-being that seriously. It's like something that we think we'll do because it's a bit in fashion, but until we are genuinely, authentically as organizations coming from the space of bring your whole self to work and not park it at the door, get on with results, and we'll pick up a little bit of you time, if we can fit it in between talking about the numbers, nothing's really going to change in corporate world. Wendy's just saying, I've always been amazing. Number two, super intelligent, groundbreaking bosses. Yeah. Think some of my self-worth bound up in theirs. Now I get to shine. Yeah. Not need to. I get to shine a light on my own worth. Yeah. You don't need to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All lip service. Completely agree, Ali. And we see that, don't we? Because whenever the shit hits the fan, it becomes about the numbers and the shareholders rather than really about the people. And if we got it right with the people, you wouldn't ever have to worry about your numbers and your shareholders.
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks, Ali. I love you too. See how she doesn't put that comment up, Ali.
Obviously. I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at something else. Obviously.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sweetie. But Ali, you're setting your company up now. Would love to get you on talking about it one day, because you stepped into this space now of being an entrepreneur as well. And I guess this is where we have to put now we've got people in our organization too. So when it's your organization and you've got to worry about the results, we've got to put our money where our mouth is as well, right? So
absolutely. That's just saying she feels the same as Wendy. And a really good affirmation that we've sent you this week. I'm confident and know my worth. I am worthy. Doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple, people. Because if you don't feel worthy, use that affirmation. You'll start to believe it, because it's just a thought. Remember, these things manifest from thoughts, which we'll obviously go into in much more detail when we're on our challenge next Monday.
So Hannah's just saying, I think it is difficult when you become more vulnerable that the world isn't set up for it. So sometimes it's easier to put the barrier up to protect ourselves.
Yeah,
absolutely. But again, what I would say is it depends what you're looking for in the world. So when I'm vulnerable and I share something about myself, it's not to have everyone say, oh my God, like that's amazing, or yes, we agree, or it's just purely with I'm sharing it. It might help somebody out there today and it might not. So sometimes when we're vulnerable, if we have an expectation of what we want back, that can really affect the energy that goes into it, Hannah. Oh, sorry,
Hannah, just there's a limiting belief that you've got there, because you're saying, I think it's difficult again.
Yeah.
Difficult. So it is going to be. When you do become more vulnerable, the world, so you're, by that language you're using, you're saying the whole world, everybody in the world isn't set up for it. So that's a limiting belief, because you're saying that without exception, and factually that won't be true. So it just helps to sometimes think about the language that we're using, because if you're telling yourself it's difficult and the whole world isn't set up for it, then you're never going to want to be vulnerable. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hope you're in the soul system, because actually what you will see, let's bust that belief right now. There is lots of people every day being vulnerable in the soul system, and the soul system is set up for it. So start off in there if it makes you feel more comfortable.
And there's almost 1,000 people in there. Like, how exciting is that? Yes. And there's now 150 people in the Supercharged Self-Confidence group. It starts on Monday, but actually in 12 minutes, we're going to be running with the people, first session with the people who were on the wait list as a bonus thank you to them for getting on board early. So we're going to be jumping off here and going and running a private session for those guys to give them a head start, which is really exciting. So what I invite you to do is help yourself. And obviously I know most of you on here are in the challenge, but take that link and pay it forward, put it on your social, put it on LinkedIn, put it wherever, because it's not about people who haven't got confidence. It's from wherever you are with your confidence, taking you up a good few notches. And, I think Leah posted the other day saying when I started in June when we did it, she started the week saying she was a 3 out of 10 for confidence, and she finished on an 8. And since then, she's really ramped up her business and stuff. So it's so exciting. Wherever you are, we'll meet you there and raise you a few numbers, okay?
Yeah.
So,
higher. I'm thinking, what this some kind of game show? Anyway, right. The link's in the comments.
Day, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow. We've got a good one for you tomorrow, and put it in your diaries on Wednesday. We've got our friend Caroline Strawson coming on with us to talk about. Caroline is a huge advocate, therapist, coach for narcissistic behavior and people who've been through narcissistic relationships, which is so much of it out there now. She just hit 11,000 followers on her Instagram the other day. She's got a huge following on Facebook. She's got a podcast that went to #1 in several countries just the other week. So put it in your diaries to come and watch with Caroline on Wednesday, because she's pretty awesome. So we will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a fabulous Monday.
Bye.